We've managed in Belgium, Germany, Switzerland, and our most recent job in Denmark. We have been successful and are getting recognition and interest from some top 5 leagues. And we've just received a massive job offer. We have joined Newcastle as they look for a manager to elevate them to the next level. We have upgraded our fit and we mean business. We usually do a takeover for 3 seasons to try and develop the team. But at Newcastle, we will win the Prem. They've had a very poor start to the season, and we're going to change that. It may take 1 season, it may even take 5, but we won't stop until the Toon Army are Premier League champions. We will implement tactics that we've developed at our time around different clubs in Europe, but we must keep it realistic. So if you love in-depth, realistic career modes, then this is the best place for you to sit back, relax, as Newcastle get transformed into Premier League champions. And this is what I think our best starting 11 is going in to season 1. Obviously, there's some big admissions here. Firstly, Joel Linton not in the squad. We're going with this. Let me quickly break it down because obviously we've come in and we're completely changing the system in a way. So there's, like I said, a few weird ones. Jacob Ramsey, we're going to start in the 10. As you can see, we've gone with 2 DMs and the 10 because I feel like what Newcastle are missing in real life is that creativity in midfield. Obviously, Tonali is so creative and wonderful to watch. I'm talking about just behind the striker, those neat little line cutting passes in behind to their wingers. And then on the right for now, I think Elanga obviously is the expensive signing, but he's not done it so far in real life at all. Jacob Murphy has been one of their best performers over this season and last season. But Harvey Barnes, I think we're going to go with to start with. But the good thing about Newcastle in real life and obviously here, they have so much depth. So this is what I think on paper I want to line up as. But Voltemade's there, Murphy's there, Elanga's there, Joel Linton's there, Fabian Schär's there, Dan Burn's there. So we've got so many options if we want to make any changes. And then these are what the player roles are looking like. As you can see, we've got both wingers on inside forward because we've got Lewis Hall and Livramento. They're so good on the ball. We want both of them overlapping. And Tonali and Bruno, we want sat in front of the 2 centre-backs in Botman and Tior, I think is how you pronounce it, or is Chow. I'll work on it, trust me. But with them 2 sat in front, they have some freedom to go up. But I think the big thing Newcastle have also struggled with this season, and maybe why they're, lower down the table than what they would expect, is because they've now had the financial takeover. This window, they've brought in a lot of players for a lot of money, and their squad is finally looking like a top 4 level team on paper with the depth, everything like that. The issue is teams now notice that, and they're now sitting back. And Newcastle have gone from a team that loves to play on the break, counter-attacking solid defensively, to having to break teams down. And that's exactly why I want Jacob Ramsey in that number 10 role. He's played there more than enough to do it at a high level. And that midfield of Joel Linton, Bruno, and Tonali, for the past few seasons, we've been saying that's an unbelievable midfield, one of the best midfield almost in the league. But the issue is where they've now, like I said, transitioned to a team that needs to break oppositions down. I feel like Joel Linton might have to make way for a more creative player in Jacob Ramsey. And we have got £82 million as well to spend it in this first summer. But we are going to be a bit sensible. And obviously, they've had a busy window in real life. So we are going to just limit it to just 1 sign-in. And I think I know what position, anyway, that needs to be. And I think it is going to be backup in this attacking midfield role. But ideally, a young player that, after a season or 2, can take the reins and just be unbelievable, be racking up loads of assists and stuff like that. But for this first season, let's say Jacob Ramsey doesn't perform. Harvey Barnes played there a lot at West Brom, and he's played in the 10 more than enough in his career. So he can drop in there, and then out wide can come Murphy or Elanga. And we'll probably experiment this in League Cup games and stuff like that, just to see what kind of clicks best for the players, because they have the talent. It's just working out the system to best break down teams. As you can see as well, we've already brought in a lot of coaches. We've worked with amazing coaches at Basel, Copenhagen, Anderlecht, Hamburg, and we've brought a couple from each of those clubs and brought them to Newcastle and focusing on the defense. And in terms of selling players, I think Emil Kraft, it might be time to go. He's only going to bring in 2 mil, but he's on 60k a week almost, and he's 73 rated. He's literally not going to play. Like I just said, we've got 4 very good centre-backs. Then even beyond that, we've got Lascelles, who's also on 60k. So I don't think we can have a 5th and 6th choice centre-back racking up 120k a week. So Kraft or Lascelles is going. I'm just going to see what offers I get for both, and then basically, decide it off that. And we've brought in Mario Stroikens for that young attacking midfield role. from Anderlecht. And if you haven't seen the Anderlecht video, he might be one of the best players we've ever used on a career mode. And managers sometimes have those players they love to bring with them alongside coaches. So like the first one that comes to my mind, Jose Mourinho with Matic. I feel like he signed him like 3 different times, or at least coached him 3 different times. And Struijkens could be that man for us. We've got the biggest job we've ever had. And I feel like Struijkens, we know what he's about. We've managed him for 3 seasons. So for 10 mil plus Emil Kraft in a swap deal, I think it's just the perfect signing. Look, he's 74 rated at 20 years old, but he is a pure creator. And if we do change formation and, you know, maybe play a 3 in midfield, as in centre mids with maybe a DM, he can also do that. So obviously no changes to the starting 11 going into this first season. But as you can see, Struijkens has made his way onto the bench, and we're looking to get him some good minutes, especially because of all the competitions we have. I don't think that's going to be too difficult whatsoever. But I think the main thing about this team that's going to help us succeed, especially in this first season, is the depth. Literally every position. So Livramento and Trippier. Centre-back we've already spoke about. We have 4 good ones, and then even Lascelles on top of that. Left-back, we have Lewis Hall. We also have Dan Burn, which is absolutely fine. Tino can move out there as well. DMs, we have Tonali, Bruno, who are both on the border of world class. But then we also have Joel Linton. Lewis Miley can fill in there with a more defensive partner. In the 10, we've got Jacob Ramsey, we've got Harvey Barnes, we've even got Voltemade, and we've obviously got Struijkens, Joe Willock. On the wings, we've got Harvey Barnes, Murphy, Elanga on the right, and then Gordon, also Harvey Barnes, also Elanga. Murphy can also do that role, even Joel Linton. And then striker, we've got Visser and Voltemade. And let me just say, Voltemade, I've been so impressed with him in real life. I love the way he plays, and I did want to play a 2-striker formation, but I feel like the 3 in midfield was too important and the width was too important. But don't you worry, like I said, with all these competitions, Voltemade will be getting plenty of minutes. Those 4 clubs I've just been at have earned me the opportunity at Newcastle, so this time we're going until we win the Premier League. Because I feel like Newcastle now, after the takeover, there were probably steps in place. Firstly, Champions League. They've got that twice now for qualification. The next step is pushing for a Premier League title, and they've hired LL FIFA 63. They've seen what we've done in Europe, transforming teams, taking them up to more, you know, European success. So we've got to win the league, and I feel like we can definitely do it. But to do that in this first season, I feel like we've got to get a top 5 finish. Top 5 finish, and not embarrass ourselves in the Champions League, and have a run in one of the cups. That's my goals for the first season. It might be ambitious, but either way, it's about time we get into this first season. There's no more business to be done, and I'll be seeing you at the end of season 1. And we did actually finish 4th in season 1. It came down to literally the final game, but we managed to clinch Champions League qualification. We were miles off Arsenal, City, and Liverpool, but it didn't matter at the end of the day. We set out for a top 5, and we finished 4th. Absolutely fantastic. And look, we literally finished 6th in the Champions League, only losing 1 game, conceding 9 goals. The top 6 was dominated by English teams. Literally 5 out of the 6 were. And to come 6th in the Champions League is absolutely fantastic. But as you can see right here, we lost in the round of 16, 3-2 on aggregate to Marseille. So we can take the league phase as a positive, but it would have been nice to at least make it past the round of 16 and make it to the quarters. But we had some really bad news. Lewis Hall's release clause got met by Tottenham for £55 million. So for the second half of the season, we had to move Tino over to the left. We played Trippier in his retirement season at right back. We didn't decide to sign anyone then, and we're going to wait, because in this window, we're going to bring in a brand new left back. He was so good for us, and I didn't realize he had the release clause, and by the time I did, it was obviously too late. As you can see, Visser put up 14 in the Prem and 6 in 9 Champions League games. He had an extremely good first season for Newcastle. Anthony Gordon was the next top goal scorer with 10 and 4 in the league, but as you can see, most of our goals were spread round because we only had 2 people in double digits. Tonali got 5 and 3, Bruno 4 and 4, Elanga 4 and 2 in 17, and most of them were in the second half of the season. Harvey Barnes 5 and 6, 2 and 2. Voltemade 6 and 3 after 20 Premier League games, and as you can see, Visser played 26, so the minutes were extremely split. And I found that Voltemade and Visser both had their positives, so I could tactically choose who I wanted to play. It wasn't a who was performing better, it was more down to how we wanted to set up for each individual game. Trippier has retired now, though. We played him as captain in our final home game. He's been a great servant for Newcastle, and he's now going to go into retirement. And we have been given £250 million to spend. But because of FFP and Newcastle have had issues recently since the takeover, what they've been tending to do is spend big in one season and then have a few seasons off. And obviously they've just spent big in real life and now we're in season 2. So we're going to try to limit our spending as much this season. So next summer we can go a bit crazier just to avoid any issues of spending too much, just to try to keep it realistic. And looking at this team, there's obviously a couple areas that we need improving. Firstly, right back, because Tino's going to be starting, but beyond him, there's not really any backup we want to be playing. And then left back, we don't have anyone to be playing. So we could do with a starter and a backup for left back, a backup for right back. I'm thinking maybe getting a youth academy scout to find some centre backs, because the backup are okay as backup for now, but give it another season, we're going to need some more players there. So if we can get a youth academy player developing this season, we're going to limit it. So just a couple left backs, a backup fullback, and then a youth academy scout, more coaches, more development, and I think we'll be all good. And we've got Joe Willock leaving to Galatasaray for £13.2 million with Lewis Miley, with Stroikens, with Ramsey, with even Barnes filling in there. We don't really need that role, so he can go and get minutes elsewhere. Lascelles requested a transfer request. If he doesn't, receive any good offers, we might keep him. Jacob Murphy also requested one because of Elanga, because of Barnes, because of Gordon. He was not happy being like third choice for most of that season, and we can still get some good money for him while he's 81 rated, and he is 31, so we're going to look to move him on as well. So we brought in Carl Walker-Peters from West Ham for £6 million as our backup right back. He's had links to them before going to West Ham. Ulrich and Keane Lewis Potter for left back. Ulrich for 15 mil. And Lewis Potter for 14 mil, because Brentford just got relegated to the Championship and he's not going to be staying around there. So look, Lewis Potter is a left back that can also play left mid, which is just going to fit our system perfectly with the overlapping fullbacks, which is the main thing I was looking here, especially for the left-hand side. But then we have Ulrich, 22 years old, can also play left mid, so once again is going to fit that overlapping style perfectly. He's 77 rated, and I liked having Visser and Voltemada, that kind of competition. Same with the wingers, same with midfielders. So I thought, rather than signing one star left back and one a bit, lower rated, why not get two decent left backs? They can fight for the spot, both get good minutes. It's good for depth, and if one of them grows like Ulrich, then we could really be in here. Okay, so we've had a busy rest of the window. Lascelles has gone for 2.5. Jacob Murphy's gone to Juventus for 18.7. Harrison Ashby has gone for 750,000, and Joe Willock to Leeds for 13.3 million pounds. But because of Lascelles leaving, and obviously the youth academy is going to take a bit of time to get someone that's a legit option, we did bring in Lewis Gibson from Preston for £4 million as well. He's not anything special. He's 73 rated, 26 years old. He is going to be our fourth choice, but it's just another player in the squad. Obviously, he's way younger than Lascelles. In emergencies, at least we have someone until the youth academy player is ready, and obviously he's on way less wages than Lascelles. So this is what our full strength team is going to be looking like going into the next season. The only change to start 11 is obviously Lewis Hall out, Ulrich in, which is a downgrade obviously, but we have now got two solid left backs. We've added a bit more depth to the squad this season. Maybe not a title charge, but at least close the gap between us and the others, because there was a big gap even though we finished fourth. So that's the main goal this season, and the quarters of the Champions League would be lovely. But either way, I'll be seeing you at the end of the second season. Well, we're not quite at the end of the season, because we've got the Carabao Cup final to be playing against Chelsea. Our first bit of silverware potentially after they've just won it a couple seasons ago on this. This is a big game. So if we can beat Chelsea and win the Carabao Cup, we're definitely heading in the right direction. And this is how we're lining up. Just admire some of these ratings. Tonali's reached 90. Livramento 87. Gordon 87. Visser 86. The team is an absolute joke. And on paper, we're definitely up there with the levels of Chelsea and the other teams that are going to be competing for the league now. So let's get into this one. Newcastle versus Chelsea at Wembley. Winner takes all. Okay, we've got it with Stroikens now. Lovely bit of skill. Into Visser. Back into Bruno G. He's carrying the ball forward. Lovely. What can we do? We've chipped it over to Visser. So audacious. Penalty. It's a penalty. It's a penalty against Chelsea. Literally about to be half time. And it's going to be Visser on it to potentially give us the lead going in at the half. Visser, don't miss this. Visser. Well, that is literally half time. Yep, we definitely should have scored, but is what it is. Let's get into the second half. Okay, wait. Before we get into the second half, have a look at this. This is what I was on about with dominating the possession against any team we play. 62% possession at Wembley. They haven't had a shot on goal we've had almost 1 XG. Obviously, we did miss a penalty. Almost over double their passes. We're all over them with the ball, and that's what we've managed to transition Newcastle into. Look, our dribble success rate, 98. We've changed to a team that can go to any team in the league and dominate the ball. We've transitioned them absolutely perfectly from a counter-attacking aggressive team to composure, domination, and hopefully we get rewarded in this game. Okay, it's time for some subs. We've got depth and we're using it. Voltemada, Barnes, Ramsey, all coming on. That's the kind of depth that's going to win us the league. That is full time, and we're going to extra time. I thought it was penalties in the Carabao Cup final, but it clearly is extra time. Okay, 113 minutes, and Anthony Gordon's on the ball now. He's played it into Voltemada. Played it back out to Gordon, who's done fantastic even this late on into the game, and that is a horrendous challenge from Marcus Llorente. Surely be going in the book, maybe even a red. It's from behind. Okay, it's a yellow, but we can take that. As much as we've changed to, a team that dominates possession, we're still a big threat, especially with players like Voltemada on the pitch. Bruno to whip it in. It's gone to Harvey Barnes. Across Voltemada! On the outside. 116 minutes. And it's 2 subs. 1 with the assist, 1 with the goal. We're all on the pitch. We're winning the Carabao Cup. Voltemada, that's what we're talking about with having 2 players in each position that are more than good enough to be playing, starting, getting good minutes. Because look at the difference in these 2 teams. Barnes, Voltemada, that touch is disgusting. Yeah, we're changing formation. Joel Linton's coming on and Fabian Schär's coming on. We're not bottling this. 119th minute, they've got to go forward. It's been a beautiful defensive display so far. And unless they go forward, it looks like that's how it's going to end. League Cup winners in Season 2. Absolutely fantastic. A great first season in terms of league position. Obviously, you're still having to wait and see how we finish in Season 2. But clean sheet at Wembley. A very, very late goal. But it shows how good our depth is. Voltemada coming off the bench, scoring. Harvey Barnes coming off the bench, getting assist. That's like we could literally play a second starting 11, and other than centre-backs, basically every single position would still be good enough to get like mid-table in the Prem. That's the level of team we've built here, and I don't think we're too far away from the Premier League title, if you ask me. But either way, that's in the future, and us lifting the trophy is in the now. Bruno G, El Capitano, the one that took the free kick, that won it all for us. We're not sure why we're looking at fans so closely, but for the second time in this would be 3 years, I think. Newcastle are League Cup winners. We're starting to dominate the domestic cups now. And Bruno to lift the League Cup for Newcastle. And what a way that is to win in Season 2. Guys, we can do the domestic double. The domestic double is on. Against Arsenal. We've only made 1 change, I'm pretty sure, and that's Voltemada. After the last second goal, and him and Visser being so close in ability and stuff like that, and because of their centre-backs being Gabriel and Saliba, I feel like that size could really cause some issues with the speed out wide overlapping. So this is the team we're going in with. Newcastle versus Arsenal at Wembley, and once again, it's winner takes all. Okay, we've got it with Elanga now. What can we do? Voltemada's made the run in behind, and that is beautiful. We're going to go for early doors, because why not? Right, it didn't look too comfy there. Now we've got a corner. 39 minutes in. Can we beat Set Piece FC with set pieces? Maybe not this time, but it's Anthony Gordon now. Lovely control. He's put a ball back across. Voltemada. He deserved to start. I said, against Gabriel Saliba, maybe we could do with the size. I'm not even going to celebrate. It's what we do. It's what we do now. This is casual. FA Cup finals. Voltemada scoring in the first half against the best defence in the league. Who cares? But what a leap that is. Like, let's not joke about here. Let's get the slow-mo on that. Look how much he's bullied Timber Digne for some reason. Unbelievable header. This is where Arsenal can be dangerous. They do like to smother teams, but we've done fantastic there. And now it's Livramento carrying the ball forward. He's been so good. He's gone for the ping out wide. What a ball. Anthony Gordon, that's fantastic work. And he's still got it. He's seen Harvey Barnes on the other side. He's seen Voltemada. He's seen Bruno, who's through. Such a weak shot. Okay, well, the footage corrupted at the end of the game, so you can't see the trophy lift. It did end 1-0, and at the end of the season, we should have a trophy parade to prove to you that it was a 1-0 win, and I can show you as well the screenshots at the end of the season, so don't worry about that. We did win 1-0 against Arsenal. Another clean sheet at Wembley, beating two of the best teams in England, 1-0, Voltemada with both the goals, but we are domestic double winners. And we did finish second in the league. Don't get me wrong, 14 points off Man City, who ran away with 94, but we finished above Arsenal comfy, 10 points clear of everyone else. A star sign in this window could honestly be the difference maker to whether we even win the league potentially next year. I feel like we've done the domestic rounds now, that's fine. Next year, we could full send it, and with our depth, we could definitely be in a title race. Obviously, the footage, like I said, did corrupt, but there you go. 1-0 in the FA Cup against Arsenal. There's your confirmation for you in case you thought, you know, we conceded and I scripted it. We did win 1-0. I don't think I can see the actual the stats or anything. But if we go to goals, it should be Voltemade with 1 in 3. It's unbelievable stuff. And Elanga was our top goal scorer this year with 12 and 5 in 33. And then Visser, 18 and 1 in 27, 4 in the Europa League, because for some reason we were in that instead of the Champions League. We made it to, I think, the quarters or semis, but I didn't really care about that. We're focusing on domestic here, realistically. So, and we've done very well at that. Gordon, 11 and 6. The goals were so spread round. Tonali, 9 and 9 in the Prem. It's just ridiculous. Voltemada, less games this season, definitely, because Visser did perform better when we were dominating possession, just because the kind of poacher he is. But still, 9 in 16 Prem games, and obviously the all-important goal in 2 finals. So even though he's not, you know, getting consistent minutes in the Prem, he's still such an important player for us. And we've been given £331 million to spend in this third season. And after just coming off the domestic double and finishing second, I'm taking it as a sign. We're going to try our best to full send winning the league this season. Because players like Tonali are like 90 rated. If they can't do it this season, they may want to leave somewhere else. So this is what our team is looking like. You may notice Voltemada is in goal. Nick Pope ran out of contract. He had a pre-agreement and our backup retired, I think. So we don't currently have a single goalkeeper in the club. So obviously that needs to change. But other than that, I'm happy with the starting 11. I think this starting 11 could 1,000% win the league. What might screw us over is if there's injuries and stuff like that. So this season, we're going to be bringing in quite a few players, but basically all of them are going to be depth. So obviously we're going to need 2 goalkeepers. I would like a backup centre-back because at the minute it's only Gibson. We did bring up this youth academy player, but he's not grown like I kind of wanted him to. So he's still involved, but he's not going to be getting many minutes. So a good centre-back. A DM, I would like someone, because we have Joel Linton and Lewis Miley, but I want someone that's maybe won the Prem. Some Premier League winning experience in this squad, I think, could really do us the world of good here. And we're going to try our best to keep hold of every single player as well. We don't really want to be selling anyone. Everyone's going to be so important if we are to, you know, win the league. So just those signings, and hopefully that's our season done for this window. And we spent just over £80 million this window on 5 players, which basically sums up the fact that we were going for pure depth. So Lucas Perry from Leeds for 30.7 was our most expensive. Because Leeds got relegated and he's like 83 rated, he's going to be our starting goalkeeper. Joseph Martinez as our backup goalkeeper for 6.2 million. He's good enough just to be a backup. Our Premier League winning experience, Kovacic, for 17.5 mil. He's won the Prem with Man City. And players like this could be the difference later on in the season when it's tough games. He's got the experience to hopefully carry us over. We're going to call this guy Esmir. 10 million from PSV as a backup young exciting winger, because no chance I'm pronouncing that surname correct. So we're going to just stick with Esmir. And then Anton from Dortmund for 20 mil as our backup centre-back. So let's quickly have a look at those. Yes, look, Perry's 83 rated at 29 years old, 6'6". He's going to be absolutely fantastic. In theory, he should be an upgrade on Nick Pope as well. So if we're doing that well with Pope, this should only make it better. He's the only player that's going into the starting 11 straight away from our signings. And then Martinez, 77 rated, just going to be a backup, but he should definitely be good enough to do that. Anton, 30 years old, 82 rated. He's not slow or anything like that. He's got experience in and around Europe. Look, Kovacic is still 82 rated. He can also play in the 10 role or the DM role. He's still not that slow. And if we pair him up with, a Bruno, a Joel Linton, even a Tonali, he doesn't have to do loads of running. He can sit in front of our back four and just kind of control the game from there. And I feel like that's exactly what we need in certain games. And then Esmir, 85 pace, 83 dribbling at 22 years old with very good potential as well. He's not going to be getting loads and loads of minutes this season probably. But it's an exciting player that will definitely get minutes in League Cup, off the bench in Prem games and stuff like that. It's just adding even more depth to this already very good squad. So this is what our squad is looking like going into hopefully what will be the last season. I feel like if we can't win it with a 90 Tonali, 89 Bruno, 88 Gordon, 87 Tino, players are going to be unhappy and they might want to move to clubs that are actually going to win the league. So we've got a full send it this year. Strykens, all rich. They're our lowest rated players. Imagine these Strykens. We've also got Ramsey that's 83. Kovacic can play there. Joel Linton can play there. Voltemade can even play there. Barnes can even play there. Like, we've got so much depth, it's ridiculous. Look how good our bench is. We can fully, start anyone here on the bench, and the team doesn't massively change in terms of ability and stuff like that. So this year, Newcastle, we've got to win the Prem. And oh my God. So 36 games played, and we're currently top of the league. And if you have a look at who our next fixture is against, Manchester City. If we win it, we win the league because we're currently 2 points ahead. If we beat the only team that can catch us, Man City, that means we'll be 5 points ahead with 1 game left to play. Newcastle versus Man City, and we could potentially win the league in our 3rd season. And this is what that team is looking like now. I mean, we've got what, 3 players 90 plus rated, then Tino 89, Elanga 88. The team is unbelievable. It's not that unrealistic. They're in a title race. And when I set up to record this one, I was thinking, okay, I've done a lot of pre-season rebuilds at the minute, and I'm trying to think of a way to do a realistic rebuild that's longer than 3 seasons, because I find with regens and player development, sometimes it can get a bit unrealistic. So I was thinking, maybe if I go for a bigger club and have a bigger aspiration, I can keep it realistic while going for 4 or 5 seasons. Well, we're potentially going to finish it in 3. So I do apologize. I will find a way to do a longer rebuild while keeping it realistic and have like a 5 season minimum. So I will work on that. Give me any suggestions down below. But let's get back to this one. And look, Elanga, 24 goals in 31 Prem games. That's because we were resting players to make sure when they play, they're 100% fit and sharp. Visser, 17 and 8 in 30 games. As you can see, a lot of players have rested a lot of games. We were using our depth as best as possible. Gordon, 17 and 13 and 6 and 3 in the Champions League. Tonali, 8 and 9 from DM. It's unbelievable returns. But we're obviously going with this squad right here. As you can see, Kovacic has moved into the starting 11 against his former team, the team that he won the Premier League with. And even though he's down to 79, he has been crucial for us. I didn't just show you his stats, but constantly when he played, he was getting goals, he was getting assists, and he was dictating play. So I feel like in a game of this magnitude, someone of his experience could be really, really important. We're going to try outplay Man City. We are the best team in the league, and I believe that. So we're going to, at home, against the second best team, we're going to take the game to them. We're not going to sit back and hope for a corner goal or something like that. We're going to attempt to outplay them. But either way, Man City, Newcastle, if we win the league. Let's get into it. Like I said, we want to dominate the ball. We're early doors now. Kovacic over to Ulrich. We want to make Man City feel like they have to be pinned back, and that's the kind of football that's going to do it. We have lost out there, but we've got it again. We're going to try force them into like constantly having to clear and not be able to actually string any form of attack together. And as Kovacic on the ball again, out to Ulrich. These wing backs in this formation are so important. We've tried chipping over the top. It's a bit audacious, but it's fell back to Kovacic, who's got it now. It's unlucky. Okay, Doku's on the ball. Unbelievable challenge from Tino. 19 minutes in, and they've got the ball now. They've chipped it into Haaland. We've done well there. And it's somehow been given a penalty. We've had a great first 20 minutes. This is the first time they've really got out of their own half, and it's Erling. We've gone the right way. And this is not ideal at all, because they now can just sit back. Okay, they've got the ball with Donnarumma 30 minutes in. We need a quick response, ideally. We can't let them be comfy at the 1-0. And we've done amazing there now. Tonali, great ball out to Anthony Gordon. We've put the ball across. It's a bit audacious. Alanga's done all right. The ball's back to Donnarumma. They've played it in to Ruben Diaz. As you can see, though, we're high pressing. We're not letting them be comfy on the ball. And they've booted it long. That's exactly what we needed. And we've now got the ball back. It's now Tonali with it. He's carrying the ball forward. Lovely stuff. He's still got it. Great ball out to Gordon. He's found that space unbelievable. Now Gordon has still got... He's found to Elanga. Oh my God. How has Elanga got in front of Nathan Ake? He's our top goal scorer for a reason. He has that instinct, that quick step to get one tiny step in front of the defender. And that's his 25th goal of the season. And by far the biggest in potentially Newcastle's history. And that is half time. Very, very good performance. And a draw isn't the end of the world, because if we win the final game, it's still our title. But it'd be lovely to do it against our competition, Man City, at home. That's how we want to do it. Okay, they've got the ball. 83 minutes in. It's been a slow second half. We have dominated the ball, but it's not been enough to really create many clear-cut chances. I've got it out to Anthony Gordon. It's been a bit sloppy in the second half, and Jacob Ramsey and other subs have come on as well now. We've got a chance to counter-attack now, and it's Botman carrying the ball forward. He's knackered, but he's still going, and Gordon's found the space in behind. We've managed to find him now. Anthony Gordon, Cabore's not catching, neither is Ruben Diaz. It's Anthony Gordon, his through goal. Oh my God. How many last-minute goals are we going to score in this career mode? It's usually Voltemada, but this time it's Anthony Gordon. Voltemada's on the pitch, don't get me wrong, but Anthony Gordon... I'm lost for words. You couldn't script it. Look at the speed. Through on goal. What? All we've got to do is see this out. We're taking players down. We're taking yellows. What a challenge, Volte. What a challenge. 1 minute left, and all they've got left is a free kick. I couldn't care less if it's a red. Honestly, give him a red. Yellow. Don't care. Basically, this free kick, Haaland's on it for some reason. Bit interesting. Your biggest striker. We've got it clear. Elanga, clear it. Clear it. We've done it. We've done it. Newcastle are Premier League champions. And in terms of the starting 11, not much really changed. Obviously, a new left back, a new attacking midfielder, but even Jacob Ramsey that's there in real life shared most of the minutes. And the front three didn't change. It was depth. We brought in high quality depth so we could sacrifice certain games for the key players, and the depth we were bringing in, fantastic. We outplayed Man City. Obviously, it was a last-minute goal, but we still outplayed them and deserved the win. And we've won the Premier League. But look at the other finals we've had as well. Chelsea and Arsenal, we outplayed them, clean sheets, 1-0 wins. We leave it late sometimes, but you have to earn your luck. And we've won the Prem. Like I said a minute ago, I thought this was going to take 4 or 5 seasons. That's why I didn't put a limit on the seasons. But I can't say no. Bruno is lifting the trophy, and Newcastle are Premier League champions. So let's just get to the end of the season and just get it confirmed. We won the final game as well. 86 points. We won it by 5 in the end. Only conceded 43. The second best defense in the league. What a fantastic season. Anthony Gordon did go on to win Player of the Year, and maybe that, the last minute goal to seal it, even though he did put up in the end 18 and 13, maybe, that final goal did sway the votes a little bit. And appreciate this team because they're Premier League champions. And like I said, the starting 11, Perry's new, Ulrich is new, Stroikens is new, but Jacob Ramsey played most minutes, I'd say. Literally a couple changes to the starting 11 and a lot of depth. And that was enough because Gordon's 91, Bruno's 91, Tonali's 91. We just developed the players they have into superstars. And also our tactics were key. We transformed them successfully from a team that likes to play off the counter into a team that can dominate possession and create chances against a low block. And we've done it perfectly. And we've been rewarded with a Premier League trophy. So that obviously is where this rebuild comes to an end. And the next one, I promise you, we're going to do 4 or 5 seasons minimum. So get your suggestions down below because I'll be recording it over the next couple days. So Newcastle have been rebuilt, but where does LL FIFA go on from here? Make sure to comment down below if you have made it this far. Thank you so much for watching. Make sure to hit like, hit subscribe, turn notifications, and I'll be seeing you soon.